Hello there, and welcome to Meet the FFUKers. This is episode 4, and with me, Chris, tonight I have 4 special guests. Firstly, as always, I'm going to maybe the most special. Yeah, the most special. Peter, you're here with me. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And I also have Duncan with me. Hello, Duncan.
Hi, Chris.
And I also have Stu Allen.
Evening,
Hello.
Chris.
Evening.
Hello.
And finally, with me, last but not least, Tim McEwen. Hello.
Christopher, how are we?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. So firstly, let's go through, can you give your team names and where you are in the league and who you support, just for all the viewers to familiarise themselves. Pete, you can go first.
Okay, so my team name is Raising Cane. I'm currently 76th in the league, and I'm a proud Chelsea supporter.
Lovely, good stuff. And next, Duncan, same questions to you.
So my team name is Rubber Soul. I'm currently When You Walk.
Oh my God.
There we go.
Well,
What position are you, Dunk?
We'll move out. I'm of grassroots FFUK football. I like to consider that I'm a lower league supporter, the real bedrock of FFUK.
And could you put a number on that, Dunk?
I am actually. Let me just.
Are you on page 5?
I know by the skin of my teeth.
Okay.
I'm grateful to all the agents that ensured that there was a page 5 this year. No, I'm 195th. Which is,
okay. Could be worse.
It could be, but
You're a Liverpool fan. You are a Liverpool fan. Okay, so next to Stu, whereabouts are you in the league? What's your team name?
I'm 56, and my team name is Ego Villam Carrere, which is a Latin for I do care. And that will only mean something to you if you've read any of my articles that I've written. And I support the mighty Everton, obviously.
Lovely. Okay, and finally, Tim.
My team name is A Pain in the Nias. I am 39th in the league and also an Evertonian.
Lovely. Okay.
As you all know.
Yep, we do. But it's good to remind everyone, the newbies. Myself, I'm 50th in the league, and my team name is the One Chop Shop, which I'm very proud of. I think someone invented it before me, but I don't remember that. So I'm going to stick with it all season, because last season I changed my team name every week, and that was an absolute nightmare. So let's quickly look back at game week 7. My game week 7 was pretty, it was okay, 60 points. As I say, 50th in the league. I took my 2 free transfers were Alonso and Firmino out for Lacazette and Otamendi in, and Lukaku captain. So nothing spectacular. I got away with it a little bit, but we'll talk about game week 8 soon. But might have to get away with that one as well. That's my game week. It wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't awful. And I'm just hanging on to the bottom of page 1, which isn't so bad, I guess. Duncan, we won't come to you next because your game week was maybe a little bit different to everyone else's. We'll come to you last. Tim, let's come to you next. How was your game week 7?
My game week 7, 66 points. I transferred out Cedric for Jones, which worked because he got a clean sheet. My 4 defenders, because I went 4-3-3, which may come up later. My 4 defenders scored 42 points.
Very nice.
Which I thought was quite impressive. And that includes 2 Spurs defenders, because I don't have Harry Kane.
Yeah, that may come up later as well, Tim.
It might do, yeah. Captain Lukaku and Morata and Firmino got me a point each, which was the downside of the game week. because if Firmino didn't come on for the 10 minutes, I would have had Richarlison with 10 points off my bench.
That's gutting. Okay, Stu, how was your game week 7?
Yeah, it was all right, actually. I scored 73 points, which I needed. It brought me up about 50 places in the league. I brought in Morata. That was a low point. That clearly didn't work out. My high points were Kane. Captain was, the choice was obviously Lukaku or Kane. I went the right way, so that was pleasing for 26 points. And then I got Ward in defence and Davis. They got me 12 and 16 points. So the rest was spread out through midfield.
Fair play. 73 points. That was a good score. Peter, can you beat that?
I can. I had about the only good week I've had all season, and straight off the back of wildcard. So very chuffed. I got 85. Rose considerably in the league. It can happen. I think you're
the biggest riser, weren't you?
Riser last week, and it was, I think, from page 4 to page 2 in a single week.
There you go, Dunk. That's got to be music to your ears. You just need a wild card.
And as you know, there was about 3 or 4 with me as well. Jake Walker, Matt Reed, and Scott Volker. I think we're all on the same page, and we all had a good week with Kane and with defenders like Ward and Babies and Trippier.
Excellent.
Thankfully,
Excellent.
So yeah,
okay.
Good week. First one.
Let's move on to Duncan now. Now, have you got any violin music, Duncan? Because it's your turn to talk about your game week.
I should have got some actually. I'll find some in a bit. I mean, I could always do it. When you anyway,
how was it, Dunk? What happened?
It was. I got evicted from the cons. I scored 33 points. My defence and goalkeeper got me a grand total of 4 points. The only good things that my midfielders did was keep clean sheets. Morata was a disaster. I brought him in. Jesus contributed with an arse, and Lukaku was my captain. On my bench was Norton, who scored more than my entire defence.
Luton, you mean? Luton.
Yeah, Loughton, sorry. Yeah, I do apologise.
I'll keep you right.
Yeah, thank you. And Decore, who obviously scored 10 points, who also single-handedly, I think, scored more than my midfield. So that was my week.
We shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
It happened to any of us. It happened to Stu already.
And then, so I went to the Newcastle game. Sorry, down the pub to watch the Newcastle game. Got smashed, and that was very frustrating as well. So then,
and then you had this whole international break to think about it all as well, which I'm sure hasn't helped. Luckily, you've had the 2 England games to watch.
Yeah, I didn't bother.
Okay, do you want to move on now, Dunk? Okay, we're going to move on.
Let's look forward.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to drag it out any further. So, next up, we're going to do some questions from the community. And I asked last night on the WhatsApp group and Facebook page for some suggestions of questions, and I got a few good ones. I got 15 questions. I don't know if we'll get through them all. Let's rattle through them. Pete from Watford came up with the first question, I think. And the question is, considering recent injuries, is it wise to gamble on players we know may only play short term? And he gives the example of Batshuayi from Chelsea. And he says, can this tactic give us an edge? So I won't come to Pete, obviously, on this because it's his question. He doesn't know the answer. So, Tim, what do you think of this? Are you one who likes to take a risk with short-term players?
I don't think I will this season, no. I don't think Batman is worth it, put it like that. And I think I championed him about 6 weeks ago, but I won't be gambling on him.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean,
Sweet.
not-
What about Stuart?
Not to say that he's the only one. I mean, you could put Jesus in that bracket as well, maybe, or certainly Sané.
All right, no need, Pete. Stu, what about you? What do you think about the gamble?
No, I'm not a big gambler either. I'm with Tim. I think if you bring someone in, if you've not got your wild card left, you've then got to get them out again. I just think stick with core players that play regularly, mostly nailed on. That's right.
Well, if anyone's
fancied,
that's what you've written. So fair enough. You've got to stick to your own rules.
he's not fancied. I think they'll play Hazard up front or Pedro further up. I just don't think he trusts him. I don't think he's consistent enough.
Fair enough. Okay, what about you, Dunk? Are you up for a gamble, or do you think these sort of short-term picks are too risky?
I suppose we have to caveat my responses with my league position, but I would. No, I've tried to do this to actually.
Thing is, though, in your league position, Duncan, you're more likely to have to go for it. That's the difference, you see. When you're on page one, you can afford to be conservative, but when you're further down the league,
I think, like, what is it? Game week 7, right? Game week 8 next. I think it's too early to start doing rash decisions, which I think might come up later. I think you're better off. You could get lucky, but I really can't afford to gamble too much. I need to get some steady, consistent, week by week gains. That's my strategy. So I would say, I mean, Pete has made a good point. Sane and Jesus with Aguero out, but he might not be out for as long as
exactly. I mean, news today that he's back in light training, so I reckon he's probably 2 weeks away. But
yeah, I'm trying to avoid hits, so
I wish
people in and out on a whim lends itself to hits. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think my answer that I wrote down would be it's short-term gain, but it's high risk and it's massive risk, really. But you know, it can pay off.
Absolutely. High risk, high reward.
All right, next question. Next question is from Tim in Northern Ireland. I don't know exactly where.
You don't need to.
His question is...
I do.
I'll be honest, all the questions are from people on this panel.
Pete's in his kitchen at the moment.
Yeah, I'm outside. Yeah.
They were very eager. So Tim from Northern Ireland says, is it all about Harry fucking Kane? Fuck it, I'm going to swear. Is it all about Harry Kane? Simple question. Is it all about Harry Kane? Pete, what do you think?
Answer is no, but it will be.
Okay, good answer. Stu, what's your answer?
Yes, obviously. And also Lukaku, but mostly Harry Kane.
Okay, so you're saying a double up, but yeah, okay. And Duncan?
Yeah, Harry Kane's my captain this week. Lukaku's my vice captain.
Quite simple. Thing is,
I mean,
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree. For me, it's about Harry Kane because this season he didn't score in his first 3 games. I rage transferred him out in a stupid moment, and then he started scoring. And honestly, if you watch him, he looks like he's going to score 5 goals a game. I know he's not going to score 5 goals.
He's not got a star next to him, though, has he?
Not yet, because he had a very slow start.
Because so I quite like Tim's setup at the moment with Trippier and Babies at the back, and Kane could stitch us all up this weekend if he blanks. Yeah, has he scored at Wembley in the Premier League?
Not for Spurs.
Not for Spurs.
Well, not for Spurs in the league. Not in the Premier League.
No, not yet.
You'd think it will happen.
I mean, Bournemouth.
It has to happen, but he quite clearly isn't as confident at Wembley as he is when he's away or at White Hart Lane. So I think that's a unanimous.
But so to sum up, then you all say that he's essential. Yes.
Well, no, you said is it all about him? I'm saying it is because I've spent my whole season having him and him being rubbish, then selling him and him being amazing. Now I've just bought him back. So I'm assuming he's going to go back to being rubbish again. So while it isn't, he's not essential. It's all about him for me.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
You've got to have Harry Kane. Tim, why have you not got Harry Kane?
Where are you in the league, son?
Where are you? You're above me. All right. Why haven't you got Harry Kane?
What?
We're 7 weeks in.
Why haven't you got Harry Kane?
You know,
I haven't got. I've had him for 1 week, and he cost me points.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's.
But you don't think he's going to score lots of goals for the rest of the season?
I think he will. But as my Baldy Mank friend said, it's all about value for money.
Absolutely. Oh my God, it's about Moneyball, and we'll try and come to Moneyball later if we have time.
We probably won't.
Probably won't. No. Next question from Mark in Egham, and Mark says, it's Mark Tarbox, I think. He says, "What are the merits of using your wildcard early or saving it for later?" So obviously, I don't know who's used their wildcard. Has everyone used their wildcard? Has anyone not? Yeah.
I've used mine.
Dunk, have you used yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know what the merits of saving your wildcard are because we don't have the patience for that. But what do you reckon about it as a theory? You know, or Pete, you know about this one.
Well, so I've only just used mine. I reckon it differs from season to season going on this season. I think it depends what's happening. Last year, we all picked loads of players who didn't start getting any points in for quite a while, so we all had to change our teams early doors. This season, we've had big hitters giving us the points week in, week out straight away. So I think there absolutely is a benefit to saving it as long as possible this season, basically.
Okay. Anyone got a different view to that?
I say get rid of it as early as possible because it's less to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think we looked at last season at some point where I think it was the top 50 and like going into Christmas, there was a higher percentage of the top 50 that had used their wild card early than they didn't. So I think obviously I've used mine to great effect, and I'm really happy that I've used it. But no, I think statistically it's harder to catch up than it is to start well, or it's harder if you have to catch up than it is if you started well. And I think like using it in week 1 or 2, that's a panic card. I don't think it's a wild card, but certainly from week 4 onwards, between 4 and 10, I think is the right time to use it because there's a bit of a pattern developing, and
that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about when you can start getting some sort of idea of a pattern of data. If you want to go speak statistically, it's a pattern of, and obviously I know Pete looks at that all the time. You know, and the reason you were saying, Pete, you didn't want to use your wildcard was because of that. It was more about waiting for like the data to be enough that you could actually make decisions on it rather than just guessing.
I mean, this season, just putting the captaincy on Lukaku week 1 and leaving it like that for the first 6 weeks, and you would have, and with an all right average team, you would have done absolutely fine. It doesn't usually start quite like that. So
no, true. Every season.
Can I just say that's exactly what I've done? Bar Jesus in the first 2 weeks.
Well, where have you been going wrong then, Doug?
I mean, Lukaku did get a brace week 1, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Which absolutely stung me. I went Jesus.
Yeah, we both went Jesus week 1. I remember, and then I've had the armband on Lukaku every game since.
Oh, but you missed the big one.
I'm just garbage.
Okay.
I mean, my point was more that the wild card hopefully should be to change all the peripheral players, and the big hitters should be mainstays, and the big hitters have been performing. So hopefully by this sort of stage, we've got enough information to change those peripheral players to people who are going to perform.
Okay. Well, good. We'll look forward to that.
Big hitters been performing.
Right, hold on. Let's see if let's rattle through this next one quickly. Mark from Egham has another question. He asks that if Robbie Keane's forward roll and then gun is the worst celebration in football history. So, can you think of any goal celebrations that are worse than Robbie Keane's, whatever you call it, roll and then gun shot?
Dele Alli with his hand thing.
Oh, what with the handshake?
I would second that.
I don't like Daniel Sturridge's one where he goes something like that. Not exactly like that, but something like that.
No, I think it is.
And
exactly
I also thought, thank you. And I also thought Alan Pardew's in the cup final. It wasn't officially Premier League, but when he did a bit of a dad dance, and then he looked to right Pratt when Man U scored 2 goals and they lost. So that was pretty cringe, but yeah.
Yeah. Crouch's robot is pretty epic, so that's not worse than what we. Yeah.
That's funny. I like Crouch's robot.
Yeah, I like Crouch's robot.
Yeah.
Tim, what about you?
I'm not really sure. I know that Dominic Calvert-Lewin has one planned for this weekend, or the next time he scores, which is pretty shit. So watch out for that. It's called the lawnmower.
Watch out for that in 2020.
Lawnmower.
Lawnmower.
That is top dad dancing material.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to do the lawnmower next time he scores.
Do the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Got a lot of time for that. What about?
I don't like the heart.
Yeah, they're a bit cringe.
I don't like it. And the other one I was going to say, if we're talking about shit goal celebrations, Shearer and Owen, they didn't really celebrate. They just put their arm on.
Shearer just was Third Reich.
Yeah. Well, all right, Duncan. Oh, it's good to get some cultural reference.
You can't do that. You can't just in front of 50,000 people. It's wrong.
Okay, right. Well, that was a good question. The next question is from Duncan, Duncan himself, and it's why am I? No, it's not. It's what's the best formation for this season? That's the question. That is a massive question. We could speak about it for ages. Let's try and do it quickly. Tim, what do you reckon the best formation is this season in fantasy?
Last week I was 4-3-3 and it was fine, but I still am always about a 3-4-3. Can't help it.
But do you think that there might be a change this season? Because that's been the standard for the last few years, really. 3-4-3.
Yeah, it seems to always be the standard, but I don't know. As I say, I went 4-3-3 last week to reasonable effect, but this week I'm back to my starting 11's 3-4-3 again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you? What about you, Stu? What are you favouring at the moment?
Well, it obviously depends where you put your money, but yeah, I'm 4-3-3 because I like to have 3 quality or expensive strikers. So that means you have a bit less money in midfield. And I just think the midfield this year, the pricing of it, I think in previous years you could have 4 good midfielders, but you only seem to be able to get 3 if you have some decent strikers. So for me, and I'm looking at my team, it was 4-3-3. It's been most of the season, and it's 4-3-3 this weekend. Okay,
fair enough. What about you, Pete?
So I like Tim. I think it will become 3-4-3 again, but at the moment I'm 4-3-3. There's some good value in defence, and the defenders are giving us clean sheets. So until that changes, I'd rather have the likes of Bavis for 5.5 instead of Choupo-Moting for 5.5.
All right, there's no need to dig out Choupo-Moting.
Although he's a great pick. He's a great pick, but
not this week. He's not. Duncan, what about you?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3-4-3 has been a staple for most teams. This week, I'm leaning towards 4-3-3. Midfield is an issue this season.
Definitely.
Hazard's not firing. De Bruyne, the Ginger Prince, is erratic. You've got, Pep just wipes out so many midfield options. So yeah, it's difficult. I mean, I've gone 4-3-3 this week, and that's really more to do with my squad and the fixtures that they've got than a specific preference. So
we all seem to have done the same, which is kind of unusual. Well, maybe it's not unusual. Maybe it's just the herd mentality sort of thing. We're all in the same WhatsApp group. We probably all got the same teams or similar teams anyway. Yeah, anyway, right, let's move on. We've got a couple of questions from Neil in Dubai. What part of Right Said Fred? His first question is just one word answer, and let's go through it fairly quickly. Which player is going to be this season's top point scorer in FPL? Tim, who's it going to be?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, and you haven't got him. Brilliant. Who do you think? Stu? Okay.
Oh, sorry. The wife's milling around in the background. I think Harry Kane.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Pete?
Harry Kane.
And Duncan?
Harry Kane.
I've got Kane written down as well. So the question about is it all about Harry Kane? It looks like it is. Okay.
Thanks.
Next question from Neil in Dubai. It's a really good question, actually. It makes you look at the whole captaincy thing another way. If you could take 6 times 2 points from your captain pick every week throughout the season, would you? Pete, I'll come to you first on that.
So he's saying if you just get 1 goal, no bonus every week.
Yeah. Every week, 6 points, and you play it every.
No, I'll tell you why.
What's 38 times 6? Someone?
It would be 12, wouldn't it?
It's 188, maybe. Anyway, what difference does it make?
It'd be 456 points.
That's what score you'd get at the end of the season for that player.
456 points.
Yeah, I'd
38, 40.
456 points. So half of that.
If it's captain, so you're getting 12 points a game, right?
Yeah.
38 times 12 is 456.
Yeah. There you go, 456, which is half of that is So he's still probably going to be top point scorer in the game. Would you do that when you look at it like that?
I think, speaking for myself, I quite like the excitement, which is why I changed my captain. That's why I don't leave it on the. It's logical to leave it on the same person every week.
Yeah, but points-wise, would you take that from a captain delivery? Take the excitement out.
450 points for a captain, absolutely, I would. Yes.
Points from your captain.
Yeah.
Season.
Decent score, somewhere like 2,400 or something like that. So
I've read it as the same player, but actually, if you read the question, if you could take 6 points from your captain pick throughout the season so that could be a different player. So you could still pick a different player every week. But what you're saying is, would you take 6 points? So all the 10s and the 12s and the 15s, which are lovely, you don't get very many of, but you don't get any 2s, you don't get any 3s. You don't.
No, I think you're looking for about 8 to 10. Really, someone's written a really good article actually called "II Captain," and that critiqued it, and I genuinely think you're looking from 8 to 10 points a week.
Right,
I would take 6 a week. No way.
Neil just needs to read your article on the captaincy thing. Okay.
Basically, yes. Right.
Next up, we've got a couple of questions from someone called Lester in Watford. And,
no.
Chris, have you read that right?
Is it Leslie?
Leslie.
Leslie, apparently.
Leslie Debo.
Is AKA. Is it time to ditch the pricey midfield in favour of defence and attack? Duncan, what do you reckon?
Short term, yes. Long term, no. I think there's players like Sanchez and Hazard that are too good not to deliver. I think City's midfield and United's midfield and all the top midfield, Liverpool's midfield, Spurs will settle down. I think Dele Alli is going to produce. He's playing well, just not from an FF perspective. So I would say short term, yes. Long term, no.
Okay, and what about you, Pete? Midfield in favour of defence or attack, or not?
I feel like it's a little bit different at this season, and certainly at this stage of the season. But yeah, I think it will probably balance out. Although I think Sanchez is expensive this season, considering Lacazette's coming. So I'm not sure he will produce as much as last season.
I think he doesn't want to be there anymore.
What about you, Stu?
I think he might well go in January, maybe, as well, possibly. So.
Well, what's another team in the Premier League? No, he can't, can he? Or can he?
Don't know.
No, he can only go abroad, I think.
No, if they buy him, he can.
Oh, if you buy him, yeah. What about you, Stu? Midfield, what do you reckon?
I I think I like 3 good strikers, which prohibits a lot of money in midfield.
That's
But
the
I think 3 8 to 9 million midfielders. Normally, I have 4 very good midfielders, but like I said, this season's changed. I'm just playing 3 midfield, 4 in defence, 3 up front. So average money midfield for me.
It's definitely different at the moment to how it has been in the last couple of seasons, anyway.
Every year you normally have like a Hazard or a Sanchez in midfield, like a real big hitter. Not this year.
To be fair, this time next week we might have one of them, but hopefully Hazard. All right.
It's more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've got one more. I've got another question from Leicester in Watford, and he's asking. It's a really simple question again. Yes or no answer, boys. Would you be happy for your supported team to lose if it means you storm up the FFUK League? Pete first. Yes or no?
No.
No. Stu?
No, definitely not.
Tim?
No.
Duncan?
No.
I'm going to say yes straight away.
It completely depends on the fixture, to be fair.
Can I just say that answer defines the rent boy?
Fair weather.
We'll move on. It's not what Pete said. What do you mean? Pete said no.
Well, okay. Your answer defines the rent boy.
So what do you mean? Well, Pete's the rent boy too. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, he struggled with it. He's in denial.
I'm not a rent boy.
Anyway, right, let's just ask another 2 questions, but that's just greedy. So we're going to move on. Blakey asks when the head-to-head review is going to be published. Tim, any ideas?
Possibly tomorrow.
Possibly tomorrow. Okay, okay, fair enough.
I've got a 4-hour car journey.
Daz has got a question about Moneyball, but I don't know if we've got time to go into.
Probably don't have money. I have time.
The Moneyball thing. We could do. Do you want to quickly chat about Moneyball?
No.
Yeah, who are the top 5 Moneyballs?
Okay, I've got the stats to hand. I think what Daz means when he's talking about Moneyball, having read his article, it was a while back, is it's about value, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's a good article, to be fair. So
right. It's a great article for anyone watching who hasn't read it. Go back and have a read and read Stu's and all of them. Right. Okay. So the top player for value this season is Ward of Burnley with 9.1. Which is rather good. Who's got Ward? Anyone got Ward?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, the next best value player is Ben Davies. The next, he's 8.4. The next is Forster from Southampton, the goalkeeper, with 8. And then Phil Jones with 7.9 and Monreal with 7.6. And basically, I've got the top 10 here, and even the top 20. There's no forwards in the value, in the top value.
That's because Harry Kane's not worth it.
Well, Harry Kane isn't even on the list.
I keep telling you.
I've got the 2 forwards who are the top for value, and the number 1 is Hemed from Brighton with 5.2, and number 2 is Morata with 4.7. So if you look at like a Morata at 4.7, you've got Ward at 9.1. You know, twice as good a value.
Top 5, Monreal over the season is probably the one that's likely to.
Well, it goes to show, doesn't it? You've got Monreal, Jones from United, Valencia's right up there as well, even though he's more expensive because he's got more points. There's a lot to be said for defenders. I think that's what the Moneyball shows. Defenders are A, crucial.
And B, boring.
And C, not.
You've got to have some big
hits
to put your captaincy on. You're never going to captain a defender unless you put it on Alonso, AP.
Absolutely, and what you're saying is key, is that you can't captain them. That's the problem. Yeah, you have to balance it out.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't captain them.
Anyone else? Duncan, what's your thoughts on this whole Moneyball thing? Anything?
I just think I think there's value to it, but it's far too calculated and boring for me.
Okay.
I'd rather be gloriously shit.
You'd rather be 185th?
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on.
My strategy.
Thank you, Daz, for the question about your own article. Next question from Paul Baker in Oxfordshire. And Paul asks, when are you planning on using your chips? So we've all used our wildcards. So we have not got another one of them to use. Let's all assume we're going to use our second wildcard around a double game week of sorts. When are you going to use your triple captain, your bench boost, and whatever the other one is, free hit? What are you thinking, Stu?
Obviously, I'm going to use them on a double game week because towards the end of the season, there's normally a few. But I'm going to play my free hit on the very last game week of the season. Because that's when, if you're still in the FA Cup or Champions League or you're rotating players, it's odd. The last game of the season is always odd. So I think to use that based on who's going to play might work, maybe.
Okay, good tactic. I like it. What about you, Tim?
I will probably use my free hit on the week where the FA Cup semi-finals are on, where you might only end up 4 or 5 games. So use the free hit to get a full squad out that week, revert back to your normal team when things go normal, and then use triple captain when there's a double game week.
Excellent. Yeah, that's pretty much my plan. Peter?
Well, I wouldn't like to commit. I mean, the likelihood is, you've got to try and benefit out of blanks and double game weeks. The free hit has got to be for the blank weeks, in my opinion. And then, as Tim says, there's only a few people playing, but nothing set in stone as yet. I wouldn't like to commit yet.
No, but it's good to have a plan, isn't it, as well, at the same time?
I plan to save as long as possible, of course.
Okay, excellent. I think I'm the same. Right, final question from the community, and it is a big question, and you have to be honest because your bosses aren't watching, and your wives aren't watching, and your children aren't watching, and anyone else you know. Well, only fantasy football people are watching, so you can be honest about this. So the question is, how much time per week do you spend on your FF team? And the reason, and this is from James Page Chatton from Shaftesbury, and he says he only spends 10 minutes on his FF team, which he says shows at the moment, because I think he's around. Is he around where you are, Dunk? Is he better than you at the moment, James?
Do you know me? I don't know.
Okay, I reckon he's on page 4. I don't know, but he's not having a brilliant start to the season.
No,
he says he spends 10 minutes a week on his team.
He's definitely grassroots.
He's in the grassroots too, yeah. So how much time do we? So
he's 142nd.
He's 142nd. Okay.
And 19th in the head-to-head league.
Excellent. Good to add that.
Down there with Pete at the bottom.
So,
he's below me head-to-head.
I mean, I've got some thoughts on this, but it's about what you consider. What time you consider is spending on your FF team. Is watching football spending time on your FF team? Would you argue that is?
Sometimes, yeah.
Not if you're watching a Premier League game. You're always thinking about the FPL stuff, aren't you?
No, I think if I'm watching the Champions League, because obviously my team's never in it, I'm watching to see that my players don't get injured.
Yeah, Champions League. Yeah, but no, I'm talking about if you're watching Premier League games and you're watching games where you've got points, on the line.
Well, as Tim says, arguably even that counts. So watching the Champions League, international, the whole lot.
Yeah, the whole lot. And then there's reading stuff online and reading FFUK articles. I reckon the game week review itself probably takes 10 minutes to read through. Takes a bit longer than that.
Read it twice and it's 20.
Exactly. It's perfect for a number 2. Anyway. So yeah, it kind of depends if you're talking about the pure time on the website, on the Fantasy Premier League website, that's one question. But the time we spend thinking about fantasy football,
I would say it would be closer to 10 minutes per hour.
You think it's 10 minutes per hour? Okay.
Closer to that than Jimmy's thoughts, because he's talking
definitely
shit.
Hours, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, Stu, what do you think?
Oh, that's tricky. My actual team, I don't spend that long on. I quickly make a decision, do the transfers, and leave that. But I do spend a bit of time looking at potential price rises on all the websites and tinkering for future transfer weeks. So, yeah, I don't know, an hour a day maybe. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair enough. Duncan, what can you put a number on it? The amount of time?
It's difficult because the amount of time you invest in football, again, fantasy league is different. I do see that there's generally a direct correlation between the more football that I watch, generally the better a season I have at fantasy league. So I think that's probably more important than reading stuff, because you can see players, what they're doing, hitting the woodwork, etc., and he's in a good bit of form. But to answer the question, actually making my decisions, I probably with Jimmy, it's like a 10-minute sit down, generally rather impulsive, but there is a lot more time that you spend just reading stuff and chewing the fat. So
Definitely.
It's hard. I'm not like a Darren Russell or a Pete Cronin. Like, I don't sit there with spreadsheets and like filters and all that kind of stuff. But pivot tables.
Love it.
I can't. I don't even know.
We're all different. Okay.
Absolutely.
What about you, Pete? What about you? Have you put a figure on it?
Photos of people in your bedroom, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Players. I spent less time than I did last season, but yeah, if I tried to hours and hours, less than I used to, but yeah, hours.
Well, that's good. You're trying to kick the habit. It's good.
Absolutely.
Hey, did you get married in between last season and this season?
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I have changed job, which has had an impact on my playing time. So, unfortunately.
Okay. Right. I think. Well, I'm not even going to answer that question because I know it's too many hours than is reasonable. So, and also, I should be doing better for the amount of time. That's the thing. Is there a correlation between how much time you spend and how your performance? You know, there is some correlation, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, good questions. Thank you to the community for all those. We are running out of time, but we're very quickly going to rush through some picks. I'm just going to pick a clean sheet team for this game week 8 coming up. Can you each pick one? I haven't actually got the fixtures in front of me, but
Cool.
I think I know one. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go for the most obvious one against the team that haven't scored a goal yet. This will probably put the curse on them. They probably won't get the clean sheet. So I'm going to say Chelsea because I'm a good fan. Tim, who's your clean sheet?
City.
Nice. And Stu?
Spurs, be Bournemouth. Spurs.
Spurs, Bournemouth. Pete?
I'll go for a cheeky Burnley.
Nice.
Home to West Ham.
Nice.
I would love it if they got another clean sheet.
I bet you would. And Duncan, that doesn't leave you much. And I'm guessing you won't go for your team because they don't keep clean sheets ever.
No. So I did have an answer, but after some research prior to this broadcast, I'm going to go for Brighton for a clean sheet because Tim is going to be there.
Nice.
So that's my clean sheet, Brighton.
Is that going to be a 0-0 ball draw? Is that, Dunk?
Well, I think it's going to be a home massacre. To be honest.
Excellent. Cool.
Yeah.
So I think, right, next up, let's do an under the radar pick for the week. Anyone who's doing a transfer now, who's got like a free transfer, they don't know what to do. They might be watching this. Can you pick a player who's maybe a bit under the radar, who might do well this weekend? And I'm going to come to Duncan first for this one because he clearly is going to pick a Brighton player who's going to score a hat-trick against Everton.
Yeah.
Or not.
Do you know what? I'm torn here because I've got Decore in my team, and he's in form. He's at home to Arsenal. A lot of people won't be looking at that, but so I'm going to go under the radar, a bit left field, Decore to Watford, which will please Leslie.
Okay.
Massively under the radar. Or Mbemba, who is hopefully will be back for Newcastle.
Not going to start. Not going to start.
He'll not play, but anyway, yeah.
Pete, who's yours?
I don't have one, basically.
Okay.
So I'll choose someone who. I'll choose someone who's not that under. I haven't prepared. So I'll go for Vardy, who I think is going to be my transfer.
Under the radar, but yeah, fine.
No, it's not very under the radar. If you want someone under the radar, I'll do someone for a couple of weeks' time, but not someone for this week.
Okay, no, that's fine.
That's why Higassi's on my bench, Pete. Okay. Vardy will score.
Stu?
Yeah, I hope so.
Stu, who's your under the radar?
Not massively under the radar, but I think Fabregas will get quite a bit of game time. He's only about 6.9 million?
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. I fancy Fabregas to get some game time and some assists. So my lads just put him in. I'm his director of football, and my recommendation, he put him in with Sterling.
Stewie Van Gaal.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I think that, and like I said, my lad Theo's put him in.
That's a good choice. Good choice. Tim, have you got one, or have we done you? I can't remember now.
No, I haven't. I'm going to say Raheem Sterling.
Nice. See, that links to mine.
Under the radar. Hasn't he got a blue star next to him?
Well, he's not massive, but nobody has him in their team, and I'm going to say it for two reasons. Number one, because Daz said it to me this morning, so he'll be sitting at home watching this, and secondly, because I know it'll piss off Duncan. So it ticks all the boxes.
Winner. Excellent. Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to go City as well. I think they're going to get goals. And I've got a feeling that Sane might do well this week. So my under the radar pick is Sane. On that note, let's move.
Hang on a minute, Chris. You picked an 8.5 million midfielder for top of the league.
Yeah, but it's not exactly not in many people's teams. And Tim just picked Sterling.
Okay.
We can't all pick Watford players. That would be boring.
I misunderstood the question.
No. To be fair, I shouldn't be allowed to pick a City player. Certainly not a City player who's going to start. No, you're right, Dunk. You've got it right. But I just wanted to talk about Sane because we're going to now move on to game week 8 and our transfers, our captains, and a quick look ahead before we finish. So I'll go first on that note. I have already gone -4. I've got Kane back in after a 3-game experiment where I got rid of him and he scored about 12 goals. So that didn't work very well. So I've got him back in along with Sane, who hopefully is going to do the business. And now you'll see why I picked him. So I've got them two in. I'm hoping Aguero's ribs are worse than... I'm hoping he can't run, basically, for a little bit. And I'm going to captain Kane, obviously. Now, the issue I've got is my team still has 3 injured players. Jones, I think, is injured. Chalobah's out for ages. And Morata's probably out as well. So I'm going to have to go -8. It's not sexy. I'm going to have to do I'm going to have to do a Chalobah for another 4.5 for -8.
Brilliant.
It's the only way. Or I do Jones to another defender, but I don't want to lose Jones. He's good value. So as we proved earlier with the Moneyball thing. So that's my plan. I'm going to captain Kane. He's going to score a hat-trick and let me off the hook for all my -8. I think I'm going to have to go -8. Tim, let's come on to you next.
I have done one transfer. It's already done because obviously I look at money all the time. So I have put Jamie Vardy in before his price rise. And taken out Morata before he went down in price. And I am captaining a Spurs player who's not Harry Kane, obviously.
Who's that then?
Eriksen.
Eriksen, fair. Okay. That's okay. What about you, Stu?
Like Tim, great Everton minds. I brought in Vardy before his price rise, and I took out Morata before his price fall. But I've also brought in David Silva. Who did I bring David Silva in for? Emre Can, and I brought in a cheap Wrangle, 3.9 million.
Whoa. Why do you have Emre Can in your team?
5 million. I regretted it. He didn't do very well, but anyway.
You deserve that.
I've took out Hegarty because I think his time's up. I made 0.2 million on him. I'm happy.
You took out who, Stu?
Captain crucified Tom by putting Emre Can in.
Yeah.
When he just destroyed his son's season, I think Emre Can was contributing to that.
He's probably watching this video and he's just forgotten about it. And now, anyway, okay. So that's Stu. Who are you captaining, Stu?
Obviously, Harry Kane.
Obviously.
You're mad if you haven't got him in your team, I think, personally.
Yeah, good point. Pete, what about you this week?
Okay, so yeah, Kane captain has to be done. He's got to score at Wembley sometime in the league, so hopefully it's this weekend with a brace or a hat trick.
What about transfer?
Transfer, I'm trying to hold out. I haven't made any moves yet. I'm going to wait for the press conferences, but it's incredibly likely to be Morata to Vardy, and then just swap back as soon as Morata's fit.
Wasted.
Basically.
Well, okay, fair enough. Okay,
well, not if he gets some points. I've got to play Carroll, which you'll know a lot about at the moment.
I may be getting in Carroll.
Getting him in for a hit.
So good. Duncan, what about you? How are you looking?
So I had 2 free transfers, but I need to get Kane in. Obviously, Morata was injured, so that's so Jesus and Morata have gone, and Chicharito and Kane have come in. And I've also changed one of my defenders for Bavis. So I'm on -4. And that's where I'm going to stay. There are other tweaks I'd like to make, but not warranting a hit.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, I think we've pretty much gone through everything. We didn't think we'd get through it all. We pretty much did. Half hour turned into an hour, which is pretty much standard for these things. But thank you guys for joining me, and thank you whoever is watching. If we've gone viral, then thank you to everyone for watching. Maybe not just yet. Yeah, guys, say goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, lads.
Thanks very much. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. See you again soon. Bye now.